So I just will say a few words about the significance of this occasion, this event, in terms of our Vaishnava tradition, and perhaps more generally also, in some sense, wedding marriage is similar all over the world, with some details different in different parts of the world. Our founder Acharya is Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder of ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, encouraged his followers, his disciples, to make the commitment of marriage, husband and wife. In those days, in the late 60s, early 70s, there was a lot of practice of what do you call here in Slovenia? You mentioned to me. Kuruza, yeah. Under the corn or something. Yeah. And Prabhupada didn't approve of that. He said, no, there should be proper formal commitment of marriage. The word commitment comes up a lot in this context. Certainly it is one of the biggest commitments one makes in this life. Husband makes commitment to wife, wife makes commitment to husband, and so there is a mutual spirit of cooperation under what has to be called something like contract. There's a mutual agreement, isn't it? An agreement that the husband will protect the wife and support her in all circumstances, and an agreement from the wife that she will support and serve the husband. Now this sounds a little bit asymmetrical, and if we have any feminists in the house, we can discuss later. But I would say it's acknowledging that there are some differences in the marriage, and what these differences come to in, let's say, the ideal situation is complementarity. And certainly man and woman are attracted to each other in a spirit of complementarity. I have some abilities, some qualities, you have some abilities, some qualities. There's a sense of incompleteness which kind of goes along with existence in this world. We discovered from a rather early age that we are essentially alone in this world. Well, we learn in Krishna consciousness that that's not quite the case. Actually, we are not at all alone. We are accompanied throughout our lives by the Lord, who is present with us in the heart. But we are not aware of His presence most of the time. And so the practice of spiritual life, the culture of Krishna consciousness, devotion, is a process of awakening that awareness. And one of the facilities for this awakening business is the ashrama system, brahmachari, grihastha, vanapastha, sannyasa. of these four, one of them is for association between husband and wife, in which, in the shelter of the ashrama, in a situation of affection, in a situation of trust, in a situation of mutual assistance, consciousness of and love for Krishna can awaken. So this ashrama of the householder is very much a situation for sharing. In Sanskrit we have the word bhakti. Bhakti we usually translate as devotion. It can also mean sharing. And the sharing is an opening of oneself to another human being with whom we have special trust, special affection. But it's an opening to this one person, and through this one person, it's an opening to, on the one side, the Lord, and on the other, it's an opening to the world. The Grihastha ashram is the worldly ashram. It's the ashrama for being in the world, for taking on the responsibilities of the world, and also for welcoming the world, for hosting, for supporting the world. It is the ashrama for receiving guests, for inviting guests to receive hospitality. It's the ashrama for sponsoring festivals, Vaishnava festivals, so that people can come together and enjoy the happiness of being together and celebrating Krishna's mercy. So all of this becomes facilitated by the Grihastha ashrama. Srila Prabhupada used to tell a little story which he learned from his guru, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. It was a story of a wedding party who had set out one evening on a boat on the Ganga to cross the river to the place where the wedding should take place, some distance down the river. So everyone gets into the boat, and the boat sets off, and they row, 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 all night long, in great anticipation that they will arrive at the place where the wedding will happen. But the next morning, as the sun was just inching over the horizon, they looked about, and to their great dismay, they discovered that they were in exactly the same place where they had gotten into the boat the night before. The boat had not moved 1 meter. Why had it not moved 1 meter? Because it was still tied down. It was still anchored to the place where it had been when they got into the boat. So the moral of the story is that also in this ashram, as in any other ashram, we want to pull up the anchor, we want to cut the tie that is holding us to our mundane way of seeing the world. We want to catch hold of the mercy of Krishna. And to do that, we have to release that which we are holding on to, all that is temporal in this world. Well, Grihastha ashram is a facility for that as well, if it is practiced, if it is done as an ashrama. If there is a nice spirit of mutual trust and affection, if there is a spirit of making an ongoing effort to cultivate the relationship, then it can be very nice and very helpful in this process of crossing the river of material existence, crossing the ocean of material existence. Everything is possible in this way. So we want to offer our blessings on behalf of all senior devotees, on behalf of Srila Prabhupada, for this very nice couple, very promising couple. They're already promising devotees, nice devotees, now they're a promising couple. I have, because of my lack of experience in the Grihastha ashram, I'm hesitant to give any advice. However, I have heard one bit of advice for the groom, the husband-to-be, from a godbrother, a householder, who, having apparently some unfortunate experience, spoke from the bottom of his heart at the occasion of the wedding of one young couple, and he spoke very gravely, very seriously when he spoke to the groom, and he said to him, "Never become angry at your wife." As I said, I have no experience, so I'm only quoting, but it sounded like good advice. Nodding head from some of the Grihasthas. And of course, for the wife, in this case, Aleksandra, I have even less advice because I have even less understanding of the position of a wife, except perhaps to say from observing my mother. And here I would say that my observation is with respect to where I feel that she was not so successful, and that is communicating her feelings. My mother was a very quiet woman and really very saintly in many ways for that. But I think sometimes she should have spoken up more and said what she thought. So, but what that means more broadly is, of course, the real art of a successful marriage, I think, is in communication, in which each are making the effort to listen to the other. There will be differences. However nice it all seems in the beginning with everything, we all agree on everything, oh, how sweet it is. After some time, there will be differences. Am I right? There will be differences of opinion, there will be differences of conviction. And that's when the challenge comes, and that's when the need for trust comes. And that trust has has to be cultivated. So yeah, we wish all the best. We don't want to delay this formal acknowledgement of this commitment in which all the Lord and all his associates and his associates will be coming in order to give their blessings. I want to just end by requesting all of your understanding that, and especially the couple being wedded, that at some point after the giving of vows, the exchange of vows, I'm going to disappear, not in any magical way, I'll just walk out the door, but in traditional Vaishnava weddings, it's not the most auspicious thing to have renunciants present at the event. Those of the non-married ashram, I mean, I'm not a sannyasi, but still something like that. Renunciant ashram is not considered so favorable for the whole purpose of the event. So at one point I will graciously slip out the side, so with your understanding. Okay, so I think that's it. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.